Thank you for all that applause. I know it was meant specifically for me. I'm STEVEN Petrov, the 2024 North Carolina Piedmont Laureate, and the author most recently of the nonfiction book, The Joy You Make. It was published in September of last year, 3 weeks before Hurricane Helene came through this part of Western North Carolina. And yes, I'm speaking to you from Western North Carolina, specifically from Boone, and in my writing cabin up here in the high country. And this part of the cabin is 100 years old this year. It's kind of amazing. Look at that fireplace. You know, the resilience of this place, and really the resilience of my friends and neighbors up here. I want to thank Kelly Shin for inviting me to join the North Carolina 10 for 10 group. You're an amazing group of writers, and I'm really honored to be part of this effort to raise relief funds for this part of the state. We were asked to designate a nonprofit that we might raise monies for, and so I've chosen the Watauga Arts Council, and specifically the Arts Relief Fund, which is raising monies for artists in the area who are not otherwise eligible for state, local, federal, or other types of resources. So if you choose to give, and any amount is welcome, I hope you will give generously. So I'm going to try to walk and talk here, which is going to be a little bit hard. As I go out onto the deck, I want to show you a little bit of the view, my muse, and then I'm going to read part of a chapter from the Joy You Make. So far I haven't fallen. It's kind of a foggy day up here. That's actually, if you could see it, Beech Mountain is back there, and got to turn around here. And there's grandfather, somewhere back there. Sorry, I'm getting myself dizzy. And let me see if I can get, that's my puppy. That's Mr. Binks and his tennis ball. So I'm going to read part of the chapter called The Joy of Taking a Pause. And this is from the book, The Joy You Make. Several years ago, I was waiting in line at my favorite bake shop, the Bovine Bakery, located about 45 miles north of San Francisco. The owner describes it as a from-scratch bakery, and she's long been a proponent of creating local, organic, and most of all, quote, made with love items. Over 3 decades, I've enjoyed, scarfed might be the better word, a wide range of the Bovine's offerings, from the date almond bran muffins to the chewy chocolate cherry almond cookies. But my favorite, hands down, are the scones, especially peach when in season. On this particular Sunday, a warm June morning, I joined the long line that was already spilling out onto the sidewalk. Awaiting my turn, I chatted with the woman ahead of me, praising the muffins and croissants, but pointedly saying nary a word about the scones, which almost always sell out at some point during the morning rush. I watched several people leave, many of them biting into their still warm scones. I began to worry. Finally, close to the glass case, I could see that just one beauty remained. Its peaches browned perfectly. I could taste the flaky crust. There was only one problem: that woman in between me and my scone. At that moment, I heard her tell the barista behind the counter, "I'll have a chocolate croissant." My scone was saved. Joy to the world, or at least to me. In the next moment, I advanced to the front of the line and pointed to the lone scone, saying, "I'll take that." Not 1 second later, the fellow behind me, a complete stranger, shouted, "That's my scone. I've been waiting in line 20 minutes. What? I thought to myself. Who is this guy? He's got a lot of nerve to tell me how long he's been in line when he's actually behind me. I heard an entitlement in his voice that provoked me and frankly echoed my own. I stood there for what seemed 30 seconds, but was probably just a momentary pause, processing this lycra-clad cycler's demand for my scone. But I didn't claim ownership, and I didn't tell him to piss off. Instead, I turned toward him and looked him in the eye and asked, "Would you like half?" I shocked myself. What I'd done was simple, but long in the works. For several years, one of my meditation teachers repeatedly came back to what she called the sacred pause, a breath or two that allows us to choose our next action instead of it choosing us. Without such a pause, our reactions are automatic, instinctive, and unthinking. A fury reminiscent of our Jack Russell Terrier, and I remembered to pause rather than retaliate. I'd begun to create a new habit to fall back on when provoked. Wait, settle, and speak. As the Buddhist meditation teacher Jack Kornfield has explained, in the moment of stopping, we break the spell between past result and automatic reaction. When we pause, we can notice the actual experience, the pain or pleasure, fear or excitement. In the stillness before our habits arise, we become free to act wisely. Okay, back to the bakery and that fellow. I didn't think during my pause, but if I had, I might have asked myself, is he as hungry as me? Does he love the scones as much as I do? What else might be going on that I don't know about? I remembered a quote I've seen and have reposted on social media from time to time that always gets a ton of likes. You never know what someone is going through. Be kind, always. Anyway, once I'd made my offer, I saw befuddlement creep across his face. He took a moment before responding, a pause of his own, perhaps, and then accepted my proposal, sweetening the deal. Why don't I buy another pastry and we can share both of them, he said. He did, and we did. We sat and talked for about half an hour, he in his cycling lycra, me in my faded blue jeans. At first blush, I'd say we had little in common. From our careers, he was a venture capitalist, me a writer, to our ages, Gen Y, Boomer, and political views, traditional Republican, progressive Democrat. But that would be wrong. As we ate our baked goods, I stopped judging him and found myself actually seeing him. A cyclist, he'd gotten up early to ride some 30 miles to make it to the bakery before the morning rush. On this morning, he'd gotten a flat, making him late. Not only had we shared a surprising moment of connection, we'd done more than that. We'd recognized each other, and by that I mean we'd seen and heard each other. Instead of saying, would you like half, I might as well have said, you matter, and vice versa. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for supporting North Carolina 10 for 10, and thanks for supporting the Watauga Arts Council. I'm STEVEN Petrov. Bye-bye.